All plays. 365, we're making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Starting to heat up, ladies and gentlemen, and one of the most creative scorers in the W.
Overall selection in the 2023 NHL draft, the Chicago Blackhawks are very proud to select from the Regina Pats, the Western Hockey League,
What's going on, baby? We're back. We're better. Cubs baseball is here. I couldn't be more excited about it. I do apologize. Today, I'm looking a little tropical. Can't lie to you. A little Minute Maid-ish. AC's out. Water's out. It's been a crazy couple days at the Hughes house after the flood, tsunami, monsoon of 2023. The summer of Chicago continues to not disappoint. Basement flooded. Things got a little crazy. Had to get a new laptop charger. I had to get a new microphone. Things have been crazy, but we missed a couple of things the last couple days. First and foremost, I want to say happy 4th of July to everybody who celebrated. I know I had an amazing day. I hope you guys did as well. Stayed safe and shy. It was a beautiful time for it. If you were out on the boats last night, I hope you enjoyed the fireworks show because, baby, it was magnificent. It was magnificent. It was a bunch of fun. Really quick, before we get into today's episode, talking some Cubs baseball, talking about the game last night. It was an amazing game, by the way. I left the family function early because I knew it was going to be such a great game, and the professor did not disappoint. Dansby Swanson with his 10th home run of the year. And I want to ask everybody right now, where were you for the Miguel Amaya Ian Happ game? Because this one went down in the books for the ages. What a time to be alive. Cubs fans, stand up. I know we've gone through some rough times, through some good times. It is one hell of a season. The All-Star break is almost here. But first and foremost, I do want to say, if you guys did like the intro, I do want to give my amazing coworker in Pride from Prideful Takes some love. He helped me construct that. He helped me put that together. Amazing guy, amazing individual. You can check him out on the All Sports, All Plays Network. So with that being said, let's get right into it. The Chicago Cubs win 7-6 in extra innings against the Milwaukee Brewers in Milwaukee, a.k.a. Wrigley North. It was an amazing game all around. Let me take off the sunglasses. You got the tropical look. But in all seriousness, let's get into it. Talking about it, the lineup, first and foremost, Kyle Hendricks is on the bump, goes 6 innings pitched, 4 innings with a no-hitter going. I loved every single minute of it. 4 hits, 1 earned run in 6 innings, 1 walk, 5 Ks. The professor was dealing yet again. He is now 4-1 in his starts with the Chicago Cubs since coming back from Iowa, since coming back from last year in total. So he hasn't thrown a major league pitch since 2022. And now he comes back in and he's 4-1. Amazing start for the professor. Obviously, he almost had a no-hitter through 8 innings just the other day, or just the other week, I should say. I love what I'm seeing from Kyle Hendricks right now. He is becoming the best version of him. This is the best version of Kyle Hendricks that we've seen since 2018. A lot of people are saying since 2016. Let's not sit here and act like he wasn't elite from 2015 to, or let's say 2016 to the later end of 2019. So Kyle Hendricks is coming into himself right around the best time. The trade deadline is right around the corner. Is Kyle Hendricks going to get a send-off with the Chicago Cubs and finish out the season like Wilson Contreras, or will he be dealt in the trade deadline like so many other players that I can't even begin to name, because it feels like we're just giving everybody away? But with that being said, with Kyle Hendricks being as elite as he is, he still wasn't named an all-star. The Chicago Cubs have 3 All-Stars this year. Obviously, it's a small sample size for Kyle Hendricks. He wasn't snubbed. It's just same thing with Ellie De La Cruz. If Ellie De La Cruz played the entire year, he definitely would be an All-Star right now, batting over 280. Amazing defense. One of the best and most entertaining guys in baseball. Just came up very late in the year. 3 Cubs All-Stars, notably, that one could potentially be an All-Star starter. We haven't gotten that announced yet. Justin Steele, first-time All-Star, the man of steel. I'm so happy for him. I mean, come on. You couldn't be happier for a kid. The kid that, you look at him for what he is and think, this is the first Cubs prospect, the first Cubs pitching prospect that has actually become an elite talent, homegrown talent since the Carlos Zambrano days. Like, we're looking at a guy that has, since talking to John Lester in 2022, has changed his identity. I mean, everything with the four-seam fastball and everything that went into that has become elite, and he is one of the best pitchers in baseball. He has the second lowest ERA in baseball and the lowest ERA in the National League. If not for Marcus Stroman, who is another All-Star for the Chicago Cubs, a 2-time All-Star now, hasn't been an All-Star since 2019, and I'm so happy that he gets to be back because he is well deserving of that. If it's not Justin Steele, it needs to be Marcus Stroman starting in the All-Star game for the National League. So that's really dope. Both of those guys, well earned. The Chicago Cubs, without a doubt, have the best 1-2 punch in baseball in Justin Steele and Marcus Stroman, and I don't think anybody can debate that. Our number 3 is our first timer as a Chicago Cub and his second time in the All-Star game, Dansby Swanson. I got to clap it up for Dansby Swanson really quick, give him some love because, I mean, it's well-deserved. He came in here and he's doing his thing. He is being super productive, and he is being one of the best faces in baseball at this current not faces in baseball, current faces of the Chicago Cubs right now. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Dansby Swanson. Getting into the game as a whole, had to give a little shout-out for our All-Stars because we are going – and by the way, the All-Star game jerseys look sick this year. American League looks a little bit better than the All-Star game. But yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because my guy Bob in the comments is saying Happers is on fire. We have Kevin Lapka in the cut. As always, the man himself, the legend himself, Kevin Lapka, a.k.a. the man of Lapka Lake. He will hit any baseball into any lake in this entire city. Breaking that down, though, talking about Ian Happ. What a game. The Ian Happ game, the Miguel Amaya game, the connection that those two have built. Obviously, Nico Horner's up-the-middle defense helped save that game as well. We're going to break down all that and more. A Cubs tradition being a manager getting kicked out of a game on 4th of July. It all started with Joe Madden and Napoli and David Ross both joined into that just yesterday. The lineup was Nico Horner batting leadoff at second base, Dansby Swanson at 2 at shortstop, Ian Happ batting third in left field, Christopher Morel, I can't believe I'm saying this, has another start at third base. Patrick Wisdom just got recalled, by the way, from Iowa. He will be back. So we probably won't be seeing Christopher Morel back at third base for a little bit. But he was batting cleanup at the third base position. Seiya Suzuki batting 5th in right field. Trey Mancini at first base batting 6th. Cody Bellinger back in center field batting 7th. Yan Gomes in DH position batting 8th. And Miguel Amaya, the man, the myth, the legend himself, is in 9th. At catcher. I'm really happy Miguel Amaya is back at catcher. I feel like that's something that David Ross, at least in my personal opinion, was kind of ignoring for a little bit. I felt like Miguel Amaya definitely needed the reps. He definitely needed to get into that field, get into that groove at a consistent basis. The only time you're really going to have to really kill me for making a conversation about, oh, Miguel Amaya should be starting. Like, one I'm not going to talk about is obviously, you have Tucker Barnhart catching for Marcus Stroman, and that's working for whatever reason. They just have that relationship, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, a tricky one was obviously Wilson Contreras and John Lester. That didn't work the way we thought it would. But one that did work very well was obviously Victor Caratini and Yu Darvish. That was one that you look at and you go, that kind of doesn't make sense, but whatever. Like, if they have a great relationship, they have a great relationship. So Tucker Barnhart always getting the bump on that end when it comes to Marcus Stroman is really dope to me. I think it's a weird relationship, and it's a cool relationship because obviously Tucker Barnhart is one of the best defensive catchers when he's in his prime. So I'm really excited about it. But yeah, man, the game itself, Kyle Hendricks throws 4 no-hit innings, a blooper to third. I'm not going to blame this on Christopher Morel. He was playing really deep. It was a shallow hit ball. It's not something – it was chopped up right in front of the plate and just had a bad roll. So I'm not going to kill Christopher Morel for not making that defensive play. And obviously Kyle gave up 3 hits after that, so I'm not going to kill him for that either. But 4 no-hit innings by Kyle Hendricks, it's exactly what you need to see right now. We kind of talked a little bit about it earlier. But it's definitely something that I think at the end of the day you need to look at and you need to take seriously, because right now the Cubs, with their top 3 pitchers in this rotation, obviously that being Marcus Stroman, Justin Steele, and those are interchangeable. You can have one or two, whoever, 1A, 1B, whatever you want to call it. You have those type of situations. And then Kyle Hendricks, who's 4-1 right now and has been playing some of the best baseball that he's played in the last 4 years. You look at that team and you say, we can make the playoffs. We can make the playoffs, and we're not far from out of it right now. Right now, the Chicago Cubs are sitting 3rd in the division. Obviously, the Brewers and the Cincinnati Reds are going tick for tack. The St. Louis Cardinals are still trying to do their thing, and I think that's a conversation that a lot of people aren't ready for. Is we're not even really looking at the Cardinals right now as a big threat. They're a second-half team. They're currently 5th in the division, 35-50. The Cubs are in 4th, actually. I was off by a game. 39-45. The Pirates are still at 40-45. The Brewers are 46-40, and the Cincinnati Reds are at the top of the division with Ellie De La Cruz and Joey Votto at 47-39. So the Cubs are only a few games back. The Cubs really are in a place right now where I feel like we can make a move. We can make a move. We are 7 games currently out of second place, and really 5 games if you look at the loss records. We have 40 losses. We have 45. But they have 6 more wins than us, or 7 more wins than us. So looking at that for what it is, understanding that this team is going to be a second-half team. And the big question is, who's going to be on this team during that second half? And I think that's something that right now with Kyle Hendricks, you need to take full advantage of. Jamison Tyone has been awful. And I mean, Hayden Wesneski has not been great. Caleb Killian has not been great. These guys that we were banking on going into the season, hoping that they can have a great year, have not been great. And I spoke that very openly during the offseason. Jamison Tyone wasn't somebody I wanted. And it's not because I don't believe in his talent. You know, the Yankees left him off of the playoff roster for a reason. They traded for a guy like Frankie Montas for a reason. If Jamison Tyone was that guy, the Yankees would have seen that. And I think that's a conversation that, you know, we didn't look at, and we just looked at the numbers and we looked at what he could potentially be. He never really was that guy. So that's something that I'm looking at right now, and I have to completely understand that I wasn't fully bought into him. That's not to say that a year from now he can't completely turn it around. But yeah, just not right now. Just not right now. But to open up the game, Dansby Swanson with a home run. You love to see it. A 2-run jack. Does his thing. I'm really happy Dansby's finally getting to get his feet under him. He's really taking his walks. He's really been patient at the plate. I'm really into it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. But yeah, man, that's really where I'm at. That's really what I'm looking forward to, is seeing just more of that and just consistency. Getting into it, just let's talk about the game as a whole. The Cubs obviously have a 6-2 lead. The Brewers come all the way back. They figure it out after Kyle Hendricks leaves the bump. It's not the greatest of games, but it's definitely something that for me right now, that's just who this team is. That's who this team is, and that's something we're going to need to get used to. It's something that I think has kind of been the issue all year, is maintaining leads or coming back from being behind. The Chicago Cubs are in a place right now where obviously you lose the first game to Milwaukee 8-6. You know, you're putting up the numbers, but you're giving up a lot of runs as well. Nico Horner on the day had 6 at-bats and 2 hits, 1 RBI driven in. Dansby Swanson had 1 run, 2 hits with 1 home run and 1 RBI. Ian Happ went 1 run and 1 hit and 5 at-bats. Christopher Morel had 1 hit and 1 run and 5 at-bats. Seiya Suzuki had 2 hits, 1 walk, and obviously 4 at-bats. Trey Mancini, 3 for 1 on the day. Cody Bellinger had himself a day. 2 runs scored, 2 hits, 1 walk, 1 RBI, and 4 at-bats. Yan Gomes had 1 hit and 1 RBI and 2 at-bats. Patrick Wisdom, it was a DH. Obviously, Mike Talkman was a DH. They both went over. Pat in 2 at-bats and Megan 1. Miguel Amaya on the day, 2 RBIs, 1 hit, 1 walk. I mean, it was just a beautiful day. It was a beautiful day for Miguel Amaya. We're not even going to get into that yet. But all in all, the Cubs had a pretty stellar day offensively. I was really proud for what they did. I was really excited for how they went about it. Kyle Hendricks with 5 Ks on the day in 6 innings. Julian Merriweather had 0 earned runs. Kyle only had 1. He had 2 strikeouts on the day in 1 inning. Mark Leiter gave up 2 earned runs and 2 hits. It wasn't a great day from him in 0.2 innings. Aber Alzolay tried to give away the game. He gave away 2 runs as well and 3 strikeouts with 4 hits in 1.1 innings. That tied up the game. And then the kid from Iowa, the man himself, I mean, I'm really excited about this. Danny P. Daniel Palencia obviously does his thing in 2 innings to close out the game, giving Carlos Zambrano vibes. He had 1 hit, 0 strikeouts, 0 earned runs, and 0 walks. He did his thing. The Cubs cover it up, but let's get into it. Let's talk about who got ejected from this game. It was really dope to see basically the way it goes down. I believe we're in the bottom of the 10th. We're in the bottom of the 10th, or the top of the 10th. We're doing our thing. Palencia has to come in here and really make some noise. So he's warming up in the bullpen. Obviously, we're trying to drive in some runs. The issue is that right now is the strike zone has been fucked all day long. And David Ross even went into that and used worse language than I'm using right now to break that down. He's talking about he doesn't know what the fuck's going on. It's bullshit, all this other stuff. He got ejected from the game. That's obvious. He was very frustrated in post-game interviews at the Marquee Sports Network. But the big part of that is the strike zone. You couldn't find a strike zone with a map. I mean, the umpires were so inconsistent with how they were calling this game. They're obviously, turning the sunroof on and doing all this other stuff to mess with the lighting. And it changed a lot and dictated a lot into the game. And it was very frustrating for guys like David Ross. So I think a big thing was frustration throughout the game. Dansby Swanson obviously felt like it was a ball in a very pivotal moment. I believe it was a 3-0 count, and you call it a strike. So that's something that's obviously already very frustrating when you're taking that pitch and you just got walked in the 10th inning at that with a man on second. So obviously Dansby Swanson has some words. Nico Horner's on first base. He has words as well. So we got our guy. We got our guy going out there, and he's talking some noise. Napoli's doing his thing. He's trying to calm down Nico Horner, and the first base umpire obviously tells Napoli something that he didn't want to hear. The man with the arm sleeve himself goes out there, and he starts cussing him out. Here comes David Ross. David Ross comes to the rescue. He's running to the home plate umpire. Both of these guys get ejected. You're hearing all types of language, things that we can't even repeat on here on the All Sports All Plays Network, but you're hearing it. You're hearing it, and it's frustrating, and you see both of our managers get ejected. And it's super frustrating when you see something like that because you understand, what point of the game that we're in, what point of the conversation that we're having right now, and you want your guys there to be able to be there in game situations. So you're in this situation right now. Obviously, we need to go in here and score a couple runs. We don't, and that's fine. We leave a couple guys on, and that's perfectly okay. But bottom of the 10th, here come the Brewers. A hit to Ian Happ. There's 1 out. Ian Happ picks up the ball, hoses. I'm going to say hoses is the right word. I was going to say throws out, but that's not even the right word. He hoses out the runner from second base coming all the way home. At home, Miguel Amaya makes an amazing play. They said he was blocking the plate. He wasn't. And then he throws the ball to Nico Horner at second base, who stays on the bag and makes an amazing play. The first baseman obviously tries to go to second base. Nico Horner tags him out in amazing fashion. I mean, he got out from right under him. Obviously, the runner tries to get over it. Nico Horner comes from under him, boom, taps him out in an amazing sequence. I mean, it was just the best double play that I've seen in years, from left field to home plate all the way to second. You don't see things like that happen every single day. So Ian Happ showing off that Gold Glove. Miguel Amaya showing that he understands the game of baseball at an elite level in real life time. That's something that you can't teach. That's something that, in the moment, you could have just taken the run at home. You know what I mean? You could have taken the out at home. It would have been 2 outs, a man on second, and you would have been completely fine with it. Miguel Amaya made a great play. And potentially, who knows what would have happened after that? Could have been a driving run in the bottom of the 10th and won them the game. So to get the double play and to end the inning, amazing fashion. Amazing fashion. I mean, you love to see it. Obviously, Cody Bellinger and company. Cody Bellinger was the game-winning drive. Nico Horner wins the game with the game-winning run, brings in Cody Bellinger on a single. You'll love to see that at the top of the 11th. And then for the very last out of the game, we have Ian Happ. Again, catches the ball, gets the second out, hoses the runner at third to Miguel Amaya for the play at home. They try to review it. They try to say again that, he was blocking the play. Don't want to fucking hear it. It's over with. Cubs win in 11. Amazing game. Amazing game. It was an amazing game, and I keep reiterating that because it was just something that you want to see from this Cubs team. We knew that defense was going to win this team games. We knew that defense was going to be the heart and soul of this team. The up-the-middle defense between Nico Horner, Dansby Swanson, and Cody Bellinger was obviously the big focal point. We thought Eric Hosmer could have been something, but he was horrible. And then, obviously, You got a guy like Ian Happ already winning a Gold Glove. Miguel Amaya showing you that he has Gold Glove tendencies. I believe Miguel Amaya is an amazing defensive catcher. It's just not something that you got to see a lot of because of the injuries that he's had over the last several years, the COVID season as well. I'm really excited about it. Guys like Jared Young, guys like Matt Mervis, guys like, Pete Crow Armstrong and so many others that are on the rise. I'm excited about Cubs baseball. I'm excited about this team. I'm excited about what this means. If you're new here and you're new to the channel, definitely smack that follow button. That's all we really got today covering Cubs baseball. I hope everybody had a happy 4th of July. With that being said, I'm about to get out of here. I appreciate everybody who tuned in today. Obviously, we're doing a lot, man. We're doing a lot, and I'm excited about it. We're about to start moving in a way we've never moved before. If you haven't followed us already, definitely check out the All Sports, All Plays Network, the ASAP Network on all streaming platforms and all social media accounts. You can check myself out, Rob Scott, Jay Ness, Pride, Randy Jowers, Chris Gonzalez, Tony Gonzalez, and so many other amazing individuals over there. Or you can find me on Mike on the Mic. You can check me out. We will be having all Chicago Sky content coming for Friday. We're going to be at Wintrust Arena covering them in the Atlanta Dream at 7 p.m. Central, if I'm not mistaken. The NASCAR stuff is gone. The fathers and the gods, the rain gods said, never do that shit again because it rained all day. Hopefully, the traffic will be a lot easier. We will be having pregame and postgame interviews with everybody on the Chicago Sky, from Kalia Copper, Courtney Williams, Elizabeth Williams, and so many others. We will be talking about James Wade leaving the team to go work for the Toronto Raptors and as assistant manager. So many other things. I'm excited about it. Until then, thank you guys for listening. This is Mike Hughes from Mike on the Mic, the Shy Kid. Peace.
Starting to heat up, ladies and gentlemen, and one of the most creative scorers in the W.
Starting to go on a rampage here. They've cut it to 5.
And with the first overall selection in the 2023 NHL Draft, the Chicago Blackhawks are very proud to select from the Regina Pats, the Western Hockey League,